Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are back for the second final video of our ITD Creative Media Month series. Alright, so today we'll be looking at Adobe Lightroom Classic. Okay, so there's two variations. One's Adobe Lightroom Classic, one's Adobe Lightroom CC. Adobe Lightroom CC is more modernized, more simple in terms of interface and so forth, whereas Classic, it's more technical, more hands-on approach. But whatever you learn here in Lightroom Classic, you can pretty much apply with Adobe Lightroom CC as well. Alright, so let's get into it. Okay, so firstly there's library, which at this point we don't have any photos yet, so we'll be uploading some photos to edit later. And then there's develop. In order to edit photos, you go to develop tab here, and then map if you want to create a map of a certain area, certain territory, a book, maybe the design of the cover page, the front page, and so forth. Slideshow, you can even make your own presentation here if you have pictures that you want to use. If you're looking for something more technical, something more hands-on approach, so this is it. Print, if you want to print whichever pictures that you have, and web designing. Alright, so these are the main tabs. So let's get started. So first we have to go import first. So we go over to folders. If you have already sorted your pictures into a folder, then you can create you can find a folder that you have already created. So I've already put my pictures in Nikon D7000, which is the camera that I shot in. So these are the three pictures that I'll be choosing. So check all. The neat thing about this is that if you have an SD card from camera 1, let's say your first camera is D7000 or D7100, there's a lot of photos, obviously. So the best thing about this is that you can check whichever you want, or you feel that, okay, I want to edit this one. So then you can check that, all this, and then once you've checked all, you can start import, and this is what you will get on the main page of library. So you can view the pictures. This is just the library, so therefore the picture is still small. And the neat thing about Lightroom Classic is that there's this reel as well, so you can view it when you're editing. So let's say we go to develop. So that's the first picture, and then you can go on the second picture, the third picture, using the reel instead of you going back. Okay, I want to look at this picture. Sorry, you want to look at this picture and then go to develop, and then, oh no, wait, I need to look at the first picture and then go to develop. It saves the hustle basically by using the reel. Alright, so as you can see here, similar to Lightroom Classic as well, there'll be these technical tools on the right side of the screen where you can adjust coloring, you can adjust exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, and so forth, toning and all this. So we'll get to that in a bit. Besides that, you can also, if you want a preset, you can download it on the web. Lightroom Classic presets online, made by other photographers, made by other editors. So these are just the main presets that come with the software itself once you've downloaded it onto your computer. So these are just the simple presets. So there's the creative preset, desaturated, where there's not that many colors, turquoise and red, balanced out, good for bright colors, flat and green, good for, I guess, scenery. So let's say for this one, flat and green would be much better because you can see the true colors of the leaf and so forth. And then there's also, if you're going for the classic black and white, there's this. But it depends on your choice of editing, because every person will have different style or different preference in terms of editing. And then there's the curve. The curve is basically what is reflected here in the histogram. If you want to see, so first we have none, and then we have the cross process, basically the crossover between a raw file to an edited file, the flat, which is, you know, the colors are not so bright, not too glossy, if you may. And then there's the lift shadows, not that much blackness, because the shadows will create a much stronger pictures in terms of the shades and so forth. The strong S-curve, you can see that there's much more shadows and so forth. And then there's graining. Graining is good for if you want to make it a retro pictures, similar to during the Kodak era, where photography is developed and make it into something that's classic, something that's out of a film camera. And then there's a sharpening. If you want to make it much sharper, much better, I guess, in terms of quality, so you can go for sharpening. And then there's vignette. Vignette is just basically the outside area, if you want to add light vignette or medium vignette or heavy vignette. So vignette is usually, you know, used to just center an object, usually with portraits or with an object. But in this case, we'll be editing photos with sceneries. Therefore, vignette, in my opinion, isn't really important, but yeah, it's up to your creativity and your preferences.